No, 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 no. Wait.
Alexey Pajitnov, born in April 16, 1955, is a Russian-American computer engineer and a video game designer. He is best known for creating and designing and developing Tetris in 1985 while working at Retrodude Computer Center and on the Academy of Science of Soviet Union, now the Russian Academy of Science. After Tetris was released internationally in 1987, he released a sequel in 1989, which was called Welris, if that's how you pronounce it. In 1991, he moved into the United States and later became the US citizen. In 1996, Pajitnov founded the Tetris company alongside Dutch video game designer Henk Rogers. Despite the game's high popularity, Pajitnov did not receive any sort of royalties from Tetris prior to this time, which is a shame. The Soviet Union had desecrated by 1991. Let's talk about his great career. It started in 1977. Pajitnov worked as a summer intern at the Soviet Academy of Science. Once he graduated in 1979, he accepted a job there working on a speech recognition at the Academy Dorontsyn's Computer Center. When the computer center received new equipment, its researchers would write a small program in order to test its computer capabilities. According to Pajitnov, this is his words obviously, this became his excuse for making games. Computer games were fascinating to him because they offered a new way to bridge the gap between logic and emotion. And Pajitnov held his interest in both mathematics and puzzles, as well as using his skills in psychology or computing. Continuing on, searching for his inspiration, Pajitnov recalled his great childhood memories of playing Pentomnos, a game which user creates pictures using shapes. Remembering the difficulty he had putting the pieces back in the box, Pajitnov felt inspired to create a game based on that concept, which is Tetris you know today. Using the Electronica 60 computer in the computer center, he began working on what could be the first version of Tetris, building the first prototype in 2 weeks. Pajitnov spent longer playtesting and adding stuff to the game, completing it in June 6, 1985. This primitive version did not have levels or scoring system, but Pajitnov knew that he had potentially a great game on his hands, since he could not stop playing it at work. Tetris was licensed and managed by the Soviet company Elrog, which monopolized the import and export of computers, hardware and software in the Soviet Union, and advertised to the slogan "From Russia with Love" on the NES, "From Russia with Fun." Very funny that, isn't it? Because he was employed by the Soviet Academy of Science, Pajitnov did not receive any royalties, as I mentioned before. Pajitnov, together with Vladimir I don't know how you pronounce it, Porkahiko, I'll butcher that. Here's the name on the screen. Moved to the United States following the collapse of the Soviet Union in 1991, and in 1996 founded the Tetris company with Henk Rogers, which in combination of the rights reverting him to the 1955 or hence 1996, finally allowed him to collect his royalties from the game, which helped to design the puzzles in the Super Nintendo version of Yoshi's Cookie, and designed the game in Pandora's Box, which incorporates more traditional jigsaw-style puzzles. Pajitnov, and the name again on screen, founded the 3D technology company Amnitech, which developed the game screensaver Elfish. Tetris video game, also known as Classic Tetris, is a 1989 puzzle video game developed and published by Nintendo for the Nintendo Entertainment System (NES), based on the Tetris 1985 by Alexey Pajitnov. It was also released after the legal battle between Nintendo and Atari Games, who had previously released a console port outside of the terms of their Tetris license. Bulletproof Software had previously released the Tetris for the family computer in December 1988, while Nintendo had released Tetris for the Game Boy early in 1989. Nintendo licensed exclusive home console rights for the Tetris intellectual property from Soviet authorities, leaving Atari unaware that they did not possess these rights for their license agreements, as they were forced to quickly recall their version of Tetris for the NES. This was a major blow to the Atari and their involvement subsidiary Tengen. American reviewers held Nintendo version to be the inferior product to Atari's recall version, which explains why simplistic graphics are absolutely amazing with the NES version. Simplicity is the best, I think, in my opinion. Do you want to know what happened back in my childhood, or should we say our family childhood? Well, I'll tell you. We saw the advert for the Game Boy version of Tetris.
Power and excitement of Nintendo right in the palm of your hand. Introducing Game Boy. It's portable, it's in stereo, and its games are interchangeable. Plus, Game Boy comes with the outrageous new game, Tetris. And for head-to-head competition, use the revolutionary video link and blow your opponent away. Game Boy, only from Nintendo. Now you're playing with power, portable power.
You know, with the EMG, with the actual pack for the Tetris, we were getting saying, oh, we'd love to own it, but it's too expensive. However, my sister did this wonderful thing, and I'll praise my sister for this. She went to the Shell garage, and they had a competition on, you can win a Game Boy with a Tetris, and behold, we actually won. And it was amazing. It was a miracle. So we didn't have to pay £90 to Nintendo, so we got it for free, which was an absolute blessing for all of us. And we had many arguments and countless hours of good old high-scoring fun. We were bickering about who's going to get to level 8, 9, 10, 11. It was just an amazing childhood that I'll never forget. Here are some amazing facts about Tetris. Tetris name comes from the combining of the word prefix tetra, meaning 4, with the word tennis, and it was combined to obviously create Tetris. Cosmic origins. Tetris made history in the first video game to be played in space, where Russian cosmonaut Astronaut A. Asaparov played it through his Game Boy during the mission in 1993. Artistic recognition. A fully playable recreation of the original 1984 Tetris game in a permanent exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City. The Tetris effect. Spending extensive time playing pattern-based games like Tetris can lead to experience the Tetris effect, which people begin to see Tetris blocks and patterns in their thoughts and dreams, even in the real world. Scary, isn't it? A global phenomenon. Tetris holds the Guinness World Record for the most ported game in history, having appeared over 65 different platforms. Here are some amazing health benefits of Tetris. Wow. Specific studies have found that a short session of playing Tetris can help reduce cravings for food, alcohol, and cigarettes, making it a useful tool for people to lose weight or quit their bad habits. Musical roots. The well-known Tetris-themed music in 19th century Russian folk song is called, I'm probably going to approach this anyway, Karabelik. Yeah, there it is. Here is Digital Clip's game release, Tetris Forever. It was released back in November 12, 2024 for $29.50. I noticed there was a sale on for the Nintendo Switch version, so keep an eye on it. You get 15 excellent games included. It obviously does include the original Nintendo games because they're obviously licensed to Nintendo. That's on the NSO service, which makes sense. So similar to the Atari 50th collection that you played in 2022, they released their own version of the timeline history of Tetris, including Alexey Pajitnov talking about how he created Tetris. It has really cool video segments and trivia and, of course, photographs showing you the development process of how they made Tetris. And it's like a little video game in itself. You can actually get a spark lighting up, doing percentages, which I really like the idea of. So it's like watching a movie, but it's like a game at the same time. Tetris movie released in 2023, biographical thriller based on the true events around the race to grapple the license and patent the video game Tetris from Soviet Russia in 1980s during the Cold War period. It was directed by John S. Bod and written by Noel Pink, and the film stars Taron Egerton. The plot follows Hank Rogers of Bulletproof Software, who becomes interested in the game license Tetris, created by Alexey Pajitnov. During the electronics show, desperate to obtain the handheld console rights for Nintendo, he takes a trip between Japan, USA, and Russia to win the legal battle over the game's ownership. Development of Tetris movie began in July 2020. Filming began in Glasgow in December 2020, including Glasgow, Paswick Airport in February 2021. Film took place in Aberdeen and all locations including University of Aberdeen's Zoology Building. Filming took place about 7 days around the former RAF military base in Balladoo and in Perth and in Kinross. Production wrapped up early in March 2021, and this was released on Apple TV Plus service. As you see, you can also buy the movie on separate now, which I'm definitely going to buy because I adore this movie. It's absolutely amazing. Tetris was premiered at SXSW Film Festival on March 15, 2023. It was also released on March 31st, as I said, on Apple TV+. The film received generally positive reviews from critics and was praised by Pajitnov and Rogers. Did you know Hollywood was going to make a Tetris invasion movie, but I'm glad that didn't work out. This is much better. At the 1988 Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas, Dutch video game designer Henk Rogers of Bulletproof Software discovers Tetris, captivating puzzle game developed by Soviet programmer Alexey Pajitnov. The Tetris, owned by the Soviet Union Elrog. Rogers learns that the worldwide licensing rights were sold to British entrepreneur Robert Stein, who sub-licensed to Robert Maxwell's Mirrorsoft. Headed by Maxwell's son Kevin Rogers, acquires the rights to distribute Tetris in Japan for PC, console, and arcade. Rogers pitches a partnership to Nintendo CEO Hiroshi Yamauchi, proposing to adapt Tetris of the Famicom console and arcades. Yamauchi agrees, and Rogers secures a $3 million deal loan from the bank manager Eddie, using his family home computer as collateral. However, Kevin informs Rogers that Sega already had been promised the arcade rights, complicating Rogers' ability to move forward with the Famicom version. Rogers desperately presses Nintendo for an advancement on the residentials, hopefully to buy enough time to secure the necessity rights, but it's instead redirected to Nintendo's Seattle headquarters. There, Rogers proposes Tetris to be a launch title for the Nintendo's upcoming Game Boy console instead of the Super Mario Land. Nintendo America President Miro Arakawa and General Counsel Howard Lincoln agreed, providing Rogers secure rights. So, if I could recommend one movie to you guys, it's this one. It's amazing, and it's on obviously the Apple services. This movie for me is an excellent portrayal of Alexey Pajitnov in his own unique ways, showing how he used Pascal to create the on Electronica 60, which you do see in the movie, which is really cool. And I love the scene with the prototype with Henk Rogers. And that was a really cool thing to see the Game Boy version and running Super Mario Land, the original game. And then they said, yeah, let's change it up a bit. And I love that. And it's a very believable, kind of good feel-good movie. And it's got a lot of tense bits as well, with the legal licensing battleground going back and forth. It's a very good, watchable movie. And it's a timeless movie that will be echoed through the ages for all time. Time to wrap up this great video, and I'd like to praise Alexey Pajitnov for changing the video game landscape forever to the next generation of gamers. And I think personally it's one of the best simplistic, addictive, most unique games of all time. It's so soothing and relaxing as well, as I said in the previous bit, which is amazing. I did not know that until like a couple of days ago, but it's amazing what you can find on the internet. This is what I love about Tetris. It has a great community of support, and there's still excellent media coverage of this game, and it's celebrated all around the world as well. Even in 2025, I'm still playing the Tetris 99 game on the NSO service, and the best thing, guys, is you can actually play the Tetris Game Boy version on the NSO service as well. which is even better, and also the NES service has the NES version of Tetris, which I must admit is a huge blessing, and we should all say thank you to Alexey Pajitnov. You are the greatest genius of our time. And I'd like to ask you guys in the comment section, what is your favourite moment of playing Tetris? What is your highest score you ever got on Tetris? Let me know as well. And also, did you see the Apple TV Plus movie of Tetris? Let me know in the comments as well. And if there's any other games you guys want me to cover next, I would like to apologise about Resident Evil 4, Why the Greatest Video Game Series. I was going to do that next, but I decided to do the Tetris one because I think, for me, Tetris was easier to do, and also Resident Evil 4 will take me quite a while to make, so that's the reason I did Tetris, so I do apologise in advance. And I'd like to say thank you for watching, guys. Remember to please like, comment and subscribe, and as Retrodude says, retro and modern gaming forever. Thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video. Take care.